Hello and welcome back to my channel. It's Ijoma here and you are welcome back to my channel, and I appreciate you all for your prayers, for your support, and I am healing gradually. I'm sorry, the last tutorial I posted, I couldn't post the sewing tutorial because I lost it. Now in today's video, we're going to learn how to make this beautiful dress, and this is the fabric that I have. This is a crepe fabric, an off-white crepe fabric, and we are going to do a little pattern drafting, just a little. It is not that serious, okay? Because I know many of us do not like pattern drafting. Now the first thing that I'm going to do is to take out like 6 inches or 7 inches for my off shoulder. You know, this dress has a strap, just a strap. Now when you remove that 6 inches or 7 inches, it depends on how low you want your neckline to be. You mark your bust point. My bust point is 10, my half length is 17, my shoulder to hip is 27. Then the full length of this dress, I want the full length to be 35. I want it to be a short dress, okay? But we are going to add extra frills or extra gathers to it. Let's just call it gathers. Now from that 35, I will count 6 inches upwards and I will mark 29 plus 1 inch, that is 30. Okay, that 1 inch is for seam allowance, though I will still add another allowance. So if your full length is 40, you will take out the measurements of the gathers. Okay, so the measurement of my gathers will be 6 inches. Okay, then I'll go ahead and rule my lines and label bust points, half length, hip line, and full length. Then the next thing that we're going to do is to get our chest line. 2 inches above your bust points is your chest line, and you go ahead and mark a straight line there, and that will be your chest line. This chest line is very important because this is where your armhole will stop at. Okay, now the next thing that we are going to do is to take our body measurements. We are not adding any dart to this dress. We are not adding any dart to this dress, and the fabric is stretchy also. Now I'll divide my hip by 4, my waist by 4, my bust by 4, and I marked. After marking all these measurements, you go ahead and connect all of them. You connect from your bust point to your half length, from your half length to your hip line to full length, and that is it for the front. So using this front paper, I'll cut out another one for the back. Then for the neck width, from the center, you will mark 6 inches. From the center, mark 6 inches, and then from there, connect it to your bust point. Like, connect it to your chest line. That is for your armhole curve. Measure 6 inches at your neckline. If you open it up, it will be 12, so measure 6, and from that 6 connect it to your chest line, and that will be your armhole. You need to add a little armhole to it so that it will fit properly. The next thing that we are going to do is to place it on a new paper, and on this paper we'll add zipper allowance because this dress will have a zipper at the back, so you add this zipper allowance. It is important. Then go ahead and cut out the side. Then if you notice, the neckline of the back stopped at the chest line. The neckline of the back is straight, so that is how your neckline should be. At the back, it should be straight. Your neckline should start from your chest line. You can see that the paper for the back started from the chest line area. Now go ahead and label this zipper allowance, and to the back also, I did not add any dart. You can add your zipper bulge, though I will do that. Your zipper bulge intake, I'll do that when I'm sewing. Now it is time to cut, and this is the fabric that we are using. This is a stretchy crepe, not too stretchy, but it is stretchy. I'll go ahead and cut out the back. The back will be normal, but then when we are cutting out the front, we are going to do a little slash and spread so that we can get our cowl neck. Okay, now if you are cutting, you should add 1 inch allowance at the neckline of this back because we're going to weave it, we are going to overlock it and fold it. Okay, now you also open up your zipper allowance, and after doing that, your back piece is ready. You keep your back piece aside. The next thing that we are going to cut out is the front, and the front must be on fold. Okay, it must be on fold. Now if you fold the front, you place your front paper on it, but like I said, we are going to do a little slash and spread at the neckline. So if you place this piece on it, you will slash from the bust point. You can see how I slashed from the bust point and I spreaded it a little. Just spread it by like 6 inches so that it will have a little cowl neckline. The neckline is just a little cowl neckline. You wouldn't want it to be too low, because if it is too low, your cleavage will be showing. Now I am done cutting out, and I added 1 inch allowance. What I'm going to do is that I will cut this place straight. I'll cut off the excess. I'll just cut it straight. Then this is what we have. I'm making sure that my armhole is at its place. Now you will notch that armhole area, and that armhole area, like that neckline area, is where your strap will enter, your sleeve. You know, it has a strappy sleeve. So this is where the strap will enter, and you will curve the other side. Now let me open this up so that we can see what it looks like. So if you open this up, we can see what we have right here, right? Okay, now the next thing that we are going to do is to cut out the facing for this front. The front will have a facing. For the back, you can use a bias to turn the back, or you can hem the back neckline. But for this front, the front must have a facing. Now, after cutting out this facing, your facing should stop at 3 inches below your armhole line. You can see where my facing stopped at. It will stop at 3 inches below your armhole line. Then you will cut out. You will keep that one aside, okay? The next thing that we are going to do right now is to cut out the strap. You know, the sleeve has a strappy design, just a strappy sleeve. Now just go ahead and cut out like 2 inches pieces, 2 pieces. It should be 2 inches wide, and it should be at least 20 inches long. Then after, you can adjust. Okay, now I'll go ahead and divide it into 2. I have 2 inches there, and I'll go ahead and fold this strap, and this is what we are going to use for our sleeve. Now we are done with the sleeve. I'll fold it in into a tiny piece. Now this paper is for our flounce. That gathers is not just gathers, it is flounce. You will have to cut a flounce, a spiral flay or spiral flounce first before you make your gathers. Now find the midpoint of your paper, find the midpoint horizontally, find the midpoint vertically, and then this is the midpoint of this paper. On this midpoint of this paper, you will mark a straight line horizontally and a straight line vertically. So after marking this straight line, you will have a cross sign. It will look like a cross, like you are just trying to divide this paper into 2. Okay, now this is what you have. Then you go ahead and mark 1 inch round. Just go ahead and mark 1 inch round. You can see this 1 inch. You go ahead and connect it into a full circle. Then I told you guys that the length of the gathers of this dress is 6 inches. Like it is supposed to be 5 plus extra 1 for seam allowance. You will add 1 inch for seam allowance to the length of your gather. So that is 6 inches. I will mark 6 inches. Then at the center of one line, on one line, mark 6 inches and then connect it to the other part of the line. And then you continue marking 6 inches. When you reach the other side, you will enter the new line you marked. You enter the new line and it continues. I have a very detailed video of this spiral thing. In case you don't understand what I'm doing, you can ask me and I will help you. So now I will connect these 6 inches that I'm marking round. First of all, mark 1 inch and connect a round circle. Then on one side of the lines, on one of the lines you marked, mark the full length of your gather and then close it, like connect it to that 1 inch circle. And then from there, you will start marking your spiral. So that side of the paper will not be enough, and that is the reason why I'm adding extra paper to this. Okay, I'm adding extra paper to that because that side of the paper is not too long. Then after doing that, I'll also add another paper on this side of this paper. I'll add an extra paper with my masking tape. Now, after doing that, the next thing that we are going to do is to continue marking our 6 inches line. If you mark your 6 inches, you connect. If you mark your 6 inches, you connect. I hope you understand what I mean by that. Now, if you reach a point, if you want to make sure that you not be confused, you go ahead and connect the 6 inches that you have marked already. This 6 inches is not a standard. It depends on the length of the gathers. Okay, it depends on how long you want the gathers of your dress to be. Now, after cutting all this, after like this particular spiral that I have here, spiral flounce that I have here, will be enough for me. So I don't need to mark much. I don't need to mark too much. Okay, now after connecting all these lines, the next thing that I'm going to do is to cut out this circle. So I've gotten to where this paper stopped at, or where this paper cuts from. Now I'll open it. This spiral that I have here is enough. I'll open this up. First of all, cut out the papers that are outside the circle. If you cut off the paper that is outside the circle, you start opening this flounce. So enter this particular line that I'm about to enter, and from there you start cutting continuously. You start cutting continuously. Now this thing that I have here, I will cut out as much as I can. Okay, let's say just cut out 4 times. This particular piece that I have here, I will cut it out 4 times. I'll cut it on 4 pieces of fabric, and that 4 pieces will be enough for what I want to do. That 4 pieces will be very, very okay for what I want to do. Now, after doing this, you place your paper on it. You can see how I'm placing my paper. Just go ahead and place your paper on it. If you place your paper, you go ahead and you will start cutting, okay? So the same way you open this paper when you are cutting is the same way you are going to cut your fabric. And like I said, I will cut out this 4 times, like 4 pieces of this. And before you cut, please pin it down to your fabric, because if you don't pin it down, it may shift along the line. It may shift while you are cutting, okay? So make sure you pin it and then you start cutting. So you can see that what I have now is okay. If you make your gathers will be fuller. But if you make it a straight cut before you start that gathers, it will not give you that full flay or the full gathers that you want. Now this is number 2. I'll go ahead and cut this number 2. After cutting the number 2, I'll cut out the number 3 and the number 4. The number 3 and number 4, I'll cut it together. And for the people that will ask, please, I used 3 yards. I forgot to mention this. I used 3 yards of fabric for my size. This should be enough from size 6 to size 12. Size 6 to size 12, 3 yards should be enough for them, okay? Now you go ahead and cut. This is number 2. It is giving me a full flay or full gathers already. Now this will be the last one. This is like another 1 yard. The first one that I used was 2 yards, so this one is 1 yard and it is on fold. This particular one that I'm cutting right now is 2 pieces. It is on fold, so that if I cut once, I will get it. Now I'll go ahead and cut. You cut the outside first of all. After cutting the outside, you will now enter the inside. So now after doing this, you will weave. Overlocking is very good though. If you want to hem it, you can hem it, but it will be difficult for you. The best thing to do is to overlock. Just go ahead and overlock it using your overlocking machine or weaving machine, the machine that we popularly know as weaving machine. So you just go ahead and weave it, okay? Now if I open this up, my 4 pieces are here already. Now over to our weaving machine. So right now you can see me weaving it. Now this is what I have and it is really good. I'll continue. So it will make your job faster. If you want, you can weave the up and down, like you can weave the top, the place that you will join to the gown, then you can weave the down part also. You can weave the both sides of this flounce. This is what we have. So after weaving all these pieces, I'll go back to my sewing table and sewing machine, cutting table and sewing machine, and we'll continue, okay? So now I am done weaving, and this is the strap that I have. I have folded my strap. Then this is the front piece of this gown. I'll go ahead and place this on the front piece. Place it on that area that we notched when we were cutting this, that armhole area that we notched. If you place it there, you go ahead and place your facing on top and then you will turn. But then, after pinning this, I noticed that it will be too wide. It will be too wide for my neckline. I had to bring the straps closer. They were too far. I just had to bring them closer so that they will not be falling off my shoulder. I'll go ahead and turn the armhole and the neckline. Then after turning the armhole and the neckline, this is what I have. I'll keep it aside. Then for the back, I will close the zipper allowance for the back. And for the neckline of the back, I weaved it too, like I overlocked it too. After weaving, you will just go ahead and fold it into 2. hem. So after hemming that and closing the zipper allowance, this is what you have. If I open it up, this is what I have. Now the next thing that we are going to do is to place the front and the back together, and you will take your body measurements. So you can see two of them are equal at the armhole, but the front is longer. The front neckline is higher than the back. So your back neckline should stop at your armhole line. I hope you understand. Your back neckline should be straight and it should stop at your armhole line.